Sure don't look like there's any kind of complications happening to me. This hospital's been closed ever since they started this shit. It's just weird to see that lot stay empty like that. That lot is always full of people. There's the gazebo we were just at. I'm always posting pictures of Aslan from there. There's the empty hospital. Come on, Az. Come on. Good afternoon, y'all. It's the 8th, Wednesday. It's 12:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the Ciofani River down there. The hospital's over there. The school's right there. Aslan's right there. This is like my only outing now, because my life got so closed down. It could be part of why I'm so distraught is, you know, I used to get out every day. Every day I had a ride, you know. Every weekend I would get out for rides and cruise up trails and stuff. And it seems like a whole other lifetime ago, but it was just mere months ago, you know. So if I don't have money for meds or something, I need a ride to someplace. I'm kind of just stuck sitting, you know. And, you know, I have been, like, just repressing the psychologically damaging stuff that, you know, anybody else would, they would just be going out the deep end over shit, you know? It's like, you know, everything I know cruises down the road now with somebody else. And I never cruise down the road anymore. Nobody thinks to come take me for a ride or get me out of the house or anything like that. It's like I'm a non-entity now. But I woke up today too distraught to function, yo. I mean, really, I couldn't make myself do anything. I got up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning to pee because I actually ate the last of my pills last night. I got a prescription waiting somewhere, but anyway, I put food out for the outdoor kitties early, and then I stayed in bed until there was nobody home, and then I got up because, well, I was just too distraught to do anything. I forced myself out of bed. I forced my teeth in my mouth. I forced myself to get on my hands and knees into the litters and sweep the floor. I forced myself to make myself a cup of coffee and to take my dog out for a walk. Y'all know I don't like people who don't know me touching my dog. So to suggest that you're going to take him around somebody I don't know without me, you know, without me there to monitor it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. That'd be like me telling you I'm going to take your 6-month-old baby and I'm just going to go visit some people and pass your baby around to people. I don't know. That's Aslan's my touchy spot because he's all I have left except for the cats, and I don't really have the cats. I don't really have anything anymore. And I'm just waiting to die. I was really disappointed that God didn't kill me in my sleep. Get away from me, buddy. See, he doesn't like to stay where I can see him, and then something could sneak up on us. Somebody's big dog is running loose or something, you know? Get over here, little man. Come here. Come here and sit down. We'll go in a minute. This is one of our spots. We stop and sit here, buddy. Let me sit here and just reflect. I'll probably have to put this up on Northern Michigan Handyman or something, somewhere I can put a longer video, I don't know. Because I've got little snippets to dump into the movie maker, and I'll probably film some more while I'm out. But those of you who have been following me, you know, you've been checking out my videos, I should say. And you've been learning, you know. I know you know that I dared to defy the charlatans. And I taught you stuff that nobody else is ever going to teach you is in the Bible. Not even the guys from Shepherd's Chapel will teach you this stuff. Because they're rigid scripturalists, even though Christ was trying to get rid of the entities who were doctoring the scrolls, you know, putting lies in the scrolls, changing the scriptures, you see. So it's like, without the original text to refer to, and then it's like, okay, in the original text, way back when Christ got kicked out of the temple, they changed it. They themselves changed it to say that he was just trying to get rid of money changers and shit, because they didn't want people to know that, hey, they were doctoring scrolls that, you know, people who weren't Jewish or Hebrew were immigrating in, and they were getting in power, you know, they were getting into positions of power within the temple. So that's what happened to the Bible, and why, you know, so many people that follow it rigidly, why they're so toxic. Because, well, you've got that, and then you got the King James Version, which so many new international versions are based on. And y'all know, even though others don't, that King James was a closeted, self-loathing, woman-hating homosexual, and that he wanted God's personality to mirror his own. And heads would roll if they didn't write the Bible the way he wanted it wrote, you see. And y'all know that there was a closer version to the truth and to reality, what God wanted to convey in the back then, in what was known as the Geneva translation, I think it was. Anyway, that translation has since been doctored. So the famine for sound doctrine, that's in full effect. It's active. You can hear somebody's big dog yiping. So I'll probably have to cut this short and come back to it if they come this way. I got pepper spray. I don't have a knife on me, but I would try the pepper spray first anyway. I've never had to go beyond the pepper spray. So yeah, I'm just, I don't know, I'm kind of distraught over everything. I'm distraught that, you know, now I'm totally alone. This town is full of people with driver's licenses who smoke weed, and, you know, young women who'd love to learn to play guitar, learn to play jazz guitar, even learn to play better than they play, so that they can offer more to their fans, who, you know, I would barter. Hey, I'd give you hours of my time teaching you stuff, you know, in exchange for keeping me mobile, keeping me able to get out, you know. So actually the addition of a licensed driver to the household did nothing to take me back to my mobility that I once had. And you know that I just hate not being able to get out. I hate being trapped. And you know, God's really letting me down, because while I'm coming out here to these places, and you know, there's affluent people walking through here all the time with money just falling out of their pockets. And y'all know who used to view my videos years ago, when I just did videos of me going out with Lisa and Gato and the other Tommies we had. It's like, you know, I could go someplace and we could be broke, and we just go out for spite anyway, even though we didn't have no money for gas and nothing. You know, if there was a few gallons of gas in the van, we'd go like to you know, Brooks Landing or somewhere like that. You know, I forgot the name of it. I think it's called Brooks Landing. It's been so long since I've been there. See, it's like, it literally seems like a lifetime ago. And I've just been locked down. I was locked down before you guys. I was locked down under the illegal martial law, keeping me poverty-stricken all my adult life. And then it got worse when, you know, I lost the devotion of Lisa. And just like now, you know, I got a snitching ass old cantankerous fucker next door that sits and watches me, can't wait to see me pull out so he can call the police on me, have me arrested. And you know, the other day he threatened me with a shovel. That video's on the Motuphi channel. he threatened me with a shovel and shit, and I filmed him right after with my camera and put it on Instagram so I'd have the video to refer to for the video I did. Then I archived it because, well, Instagram likes to sabotage your profiles by putting your most distasteful shit at the top of the scroll to drive people away. So yeah, that video kept sitting on top of all my jazz stuff, and you know, my pictures of the dog, you know, that everybody likes. They like these pictures and videos that I shoot from here, you know. So I usually shoot one from here and post it. I'm probably not going to today though. I already posted from the gazebo. But God used to be able to provide supernaturally for me, you know. I've actually shot videos about it where, like, I was walking Gato out near a trail, and he walked me right up to a $20 bill one time. Another time I found $10. Another time I found a roll of some singles and shit. It's like, you know, God used to supernaturally provide for me, you know, like having the ravens provide for a prophet. And I don't know, maybe it's negative things that drew me to wanting to, you know, as a kid, I used to pray to have a double portion of what Elisha had, which was double portion of what Elijah had. And I used to pray for that, you know, not knowing what I was praying for, that, hey, if you pray to be a prophet of God and he actually elects you, you're in for a world of hurt, yo. Because the prophets, if you study them, they lived hard lives for all the supernatural power that they had access to. They may had the supernatural power to make wealth come, but they couldn't make it come to themselves. So if they ever did create anything, like the woman with the oil who made the prophet, you know, a little meal cake out of her last stuff, you know, her last oil and shit. Now, well, you know, he caused her to become wealthy because he caused the oil to keep overfilling in the vat, and they had to keep dumping oil into vats of people, their neighbors. They had to go borrow vats from the neighbors to put the oil in. And then that woman was able to sell the oil. She became wealthy just from helping that prophet. You see? So yeah, it's kind of like the negative stuff attracted me to them because I felt like God needs that now, you know? I mean, because I was in the church, I was a kid, and I knew that they were deflecting, calling everybody else evil, while they were doing stuff to me and other little kids in their homes and in the basement of the church while the sermon was happening, stuff like that, you know. And that's when I knew that there was something wrong with you know, the whole thing, and that, you know, they were liars. You know, they don't really love God, you know. Otherwise, there would be 70 million homeless animals with 2.2 billion Christians on record, and there's probably more who claim to be Christian than that. Yeah, the guy next door, I wish he would have threatened me with that shovel while I'm in the state of mind I'm in now, because I sure would have jumped that fence or took that shovel away from him and chopped his head off with it, you know. Would have made a nice news story. I would have went to prison, but, you know, I'm kind of already in prison right now. I don't have any of the benefits of it, you know. I mean, I can go out and shit, but look, yeah, I can go out walking like an old bum, you know. Like, I didn't sow the seed to keep other people mobile, and I did sow the seed for my siblings and a whole bunch of other people. So it's like it's supposed to be coming back, and they, you know, they don't want to let me have my harvest. And right now I need my harvest to somebody young who wants to, you know, drive me around in exchange for what I could offer, you know. Who knows, I might be able to get out and raise some money in some capacity. You know, I'm not going to do anything like this. I've been wanting to get up to Family Fair to sit and do their computer thing. You fill out an application and see if I can't slip through the cracks and get on their night stock just to have a job, you know, because I'm tired of not being able to work, not having money, and I know I'm not physically up to it, but I want to try it because for lack of anything else presenting itself. And y'all know I don't even have the $5 I need to put my synthesizer up for sale on Craigslist. So it's like, you know, Because, well, I would sell it right now. I'd keep my guitar, but I'd sell that. Because I'm not going to make no more music for other people to make money on. You know, I promoted this stuff and shit. You know, I worked my ass off the last few months, and it's like now it's all gone. It all got pilfered. I wish I knew who was doing it, you know, so I could show up at the door instead of angels and devils and curses and time-traveling angels of death to kill their ancestors before they can spawn, you know. I mean, we have that happening now, just like it happened in Nibiru with the Nibiru culprits that brought the technology here. That the only evidence of it that you can find is in the hieroglyphs, because, well, when they got undone, them bringing the technology here got undone. But those who recorded in the hieroglyphs, that didn't get undone for some reason. I don't know why. It's one of them carryover things. So I imagine there will be some carryover stuff when these entities that are here now, the welfare phantoms, get undone, and they never perpetuate any of what they've been perpetuating. There'll probably be some kind of residue evidence, I imagine, that they perpetuated it. These guys were parasites who destroyed their own host, because, well, the Nibiru people, when they came here, they didn't steal the coolant out of the ground, aka the oil that God said never touch. They were obedient to God about that, even though they were disobedient about coming here and exposing this construct, this world, to technology that they weren't supposed to have yet. You see, and then when they were supposed to have it, well, it happened all within like 150 years, just bam, they had it. But they used Tesla's technology, his ideas, you know. They were pre-existent before him. And that's why there was no evidence of raping the planet. But these guys that, you know, they steal the coolant out of the ground, they sell it as if it's their own, and they subject everybody else to what they're doing to the planet, which they're negatively affecting everything. They're fucking with the weight of the world. They're burning the coolant into the air. You know, it's like, and it's totally uncalled for. You know, everybody should have free energy now. I mean, if there was any good people in power, any good people with money, any good people in, you know, with fame and fortune, this stuff would have been pushed until we're no longer stealing the coolant. But instead, we've got people who are so retarded that they will sit and watch them burn the coolant into the air, driving cars around in circles, racing. They will sit and watch. Motocross ain't so bad because it doesn't use that much gas. But they will get on planes and just dump, you know, just dump gallons of that coolant, you know. Like, they're so important that they need to do that. There's no place you need to be that fast, you see. So we have the humans programmed to be like the rich, greedy, gluttonous parasites that, you know, no conscience about burning up their own coolant on their own, you know, just destroying their own host. It's like, where are you going to live when you destroy this planet, yo? God said don't touch the coolant. And then the bureau culprits knew better, and they got undone. So I imagine that these entities are going to get time looped as everything that suffered here before they're time looped as slaves to pay it back, and then spiritually executed to never get born. Once we get everything undone, put back to the restore point, those infected files, those contaminated files won't get put back into the construct. Much like a computer, when you take it back to the restore point, the infected files never get put back in it. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the next Mandela effect and for the world to be different. You know, there's nobody in government now that was there before except for Putin, because Putin was kind of non-toxic compared to everybody else. And, you know, there's nobody, you know, who's famous now famous, you know. There's no sports figures who are famous now famous, you know, all that shit. It's like, I'm waiting for that beautiful reset, you know. And I'm not going to be here for it because, well, you know, I'm closing down. It's too distraught to eat today, and I don't know, I'm having a hard time. It's like, you know, I got to get up from here and finish walking him and go back to the house, and it's like, I don't have it in me. You know, if I had, you know, one of the weapons I had when I was a thug, I'd walk right down there, I'd pull it out, put it up to my head, shoot myself in the head, I'd take him home first. But yeah, because, well, I'm not able to retain anything that from my previous life, from the life that, you know, it was a horrible life as it was, you know, always being stuck, everybody else being able to prosper, everybody else being able to work and get money and, you know, rub it in my face that they had stuff and I don't, you know. It's like, it was already hard, and then, you know, when it reached this level, it's like, you know, I don't know, I was trying to grow spiritually and it's shrinking me now, and all the good stuff I was trying to do, it's like I don't even have it in my heart anymore. I just, you know, you know, that it's supposed to be perpetuated on. I want to see it perpetuated on them now. Because, well, they can't be taught, and you can't teach them. You know, if you try to teach them the truth, you're the heretic. You're the one they don't agree with. They'll agree with the charlatan that's stealing their money, got them jumping through hoops and, you know, associating God to their worldly lifestyles and shit, you know. So, I don't know. At some point, this thing restarted. So y'all missed some words. That's all right. I didn't catch it. It wasn't important. Because nothing I say is really important, right? Who's there to accept it? There's the few of you, you know, and in the few of you is probably the two witnesses. And you're going to take what you've been taught that nobody else would teach you, and you're going to do great work, greater works for God than I was able to do. You see, God will provide for you better than He did for me. You see, I mean, for real, I used to find money when I went for walks and shit. If I didn't have none, you know, not a lot. I never found a lot of money, anything that would make me feel guilty about finding it, you know. But, you know, I found as much as a, you know, $20 bill at times, you know, and it's like those little bits of money always made me able to, you know, get a little bit of medication and shit, and, you know, alleviate the pain a little bit. But, you know, the marijuana does a lot of things. It not only helps against the physical pain, but it just numbs the cruel harshness of what my reality has become, so that I'm not always in my head like I am now, you know, just full of negativity and negative thoughts and sadness, you know, because it really is sad. It's like, there's nobody anywhere that really gives a fuck about me, you know. I mean, when it comes down to it, there's the few of you, and that's it. And, you know, all y'all are too far away to do anything or make a difference here. And even if you would be inclined to make the ride up to try and visit me and make my life better, well, they've got this shit going now. And it's like the whole world's programmed to participate in making sure that I don't get back up to where I was. You see, I'm never going to get back up to where I was, which wasn't a high point, but it's high compared to where I'm at now. You know, it's like I've interacted with people who I would have brought into my life, you know, could have shared what's left of it with them and stuff like that, and I don't know, they want me to be something that I'm not, or what they've objectified me to be in their head. They want me to fit in that box, and that's not who I am. So then they decide that they didn't really want to hook up with me after all. Well, there you go. It's like I tried to warn you that that's what I am. You know, you're gonna find out when you get to know me a little bit. You know, you don't really like me. Nobody likes me, man. The only things that like me are the animals that I take care of. My dog. You know. It's like, and it's like, that's why I hold on so tight to them, because, well, they're the only family I got, they're the only friends I got. I don't have no human friends or family anymore. And I'm just stuck in this hole and can't get out of it. I can't interact with people when they want to try and interact with me. I don't have it in me to interact with them because I'm going through such bullshit. And it's affected my personality where I can't even be who I really am anymore. I can't present that. On the positive side, these guys over here at the hospital come out to smoke cigarettes out there on the street, and a lot of them throw down half a cigarette. So when I run out of cigarettes, I'll be able to take my dog for a walk up here and grab me a few half cigarettes and smoke. So yeah, it's like it really did close down for me. And they really do have a thing going, a mind control thing on people to make them hate entities like us. And that's why you can never, ever give them more reason to hate you. You can't teach people what I've taught you, all right? They're not going to accept it. And they're going to regard you as the heretic, not the charlatans who brainwash them into believing that God is simple. You know, it's, you can't claim to be a Christian unless you want to get lumped in with them when the revelation of John starts being perpetuated, you know? Because, well, we're getting close to that era where, you know, they're going to use them guillotines in FEMA camps. And just like the Holocaust, that's what it's going to be, but it's not going to be Jews this time. You see? And the Bible warned, and is, you know, it was warning against this religionism, and that God would allow, you know, the seeds that they're sowing with their religionist behavior to grow them an evil harvest. That's what the revelation of John regarding them was about. It was a prophecy that they were supposed to try and make fail, just like Christ said, some prophecies will fail. You know, he was talking about you can make them fail, you see, if you work at it, if everybody works together. But you can't get togetherness in the religious community. Y'all remember when I was homeless in 2008, I did videos about how all my family and, you know, their whole church leagued together to, you know, this guy getting out of prison, make sure he had a motorcycle and a driver's license and a good place to live. And here they were begrudging me and my wife of a sandwich. Didn't want to let me and my wife have a sandwich, man. They're buying this guy steaks and shit. And it's like, you know, I said something to my mom about it because, you know, she's using all her resources to help this guy. And here her son's sleeping in a fucking van, man. Your own son, you know? And I couldn't get her to understand that, you know, the hypocrisy of it, you know? And here this guy, he's fresh out of prison. It's like, you know, I was exemplifying good character, and this guy hasn't even come out to exemplify any good character. Well, he's already back in prison for committing another crime because all that coddling did nothing. And his rebirth was fake because, well, you cannot proclaim, you know, you cannot accept the gift from Christ and proclaim to be a Christian and then willfully sin afterwards. There's no more remission of sins, you see? So it's like, you know, you're doing wrong and you're claiming to be Christian. You're one of the people that the revelation of John's talking about has to be eliminated, you know? Because, well, you want to associate God to your lifestyle, like those who gently mutilate little girls and then two years later it sucks them to death, you know? It's like, yeah. And then they associate that to God. God said they could do it, which that's all lies. And there's no virgins waiting for them in heaven. That's all lies, too. Any virgins that are in heaven are going to stay virgins because, well, there's no sex in heaven, you see, in what they know as heaven. There may be sex in the next timeline, but it won't be for reproductive purposes, you know? I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. That's not really a concern of mine, you know? I don't really worry about that because, well, hey, y'all know I'm sexually dysfunctional right now. I mean, as a man, you know? That got destroyed. I could still be a woman, and I imagine I can get the operation to transform my genitalia into a woman's gender, and it'll function good like that. It's just not going to function as a man anymore. So yeah, I had that took from me too, which, you know, that was like the only thing I had, the only ace up my sleeve. And now that's gone too. So there's nothing. There's no reason. for God to allow me to wake up to the nightmare my life has become, you know, where, like, you know, there's no entities that are leagued with me for my agendas to accomplish what I want to accomplish for God. There's no entities who want to do great exploits for God here. They want to do them for their belly and feed themselves. And, you know, I really wish with all my heart that I'll die before I get back to the house, and that my dog will be safe and get back to the house. You know, that somebody will know who I am and take him home. And that I just thought I'll be done, man. You know, I slept a lot because, well, I was convinced God was going to answer my prayer this time. You know, I was just convinced that, you know, He's finally going to give me mercy. I'm finally just going to not wake up here anymore, you know. And then to wake up here, I'm totally distraught because, well, God's hands have been tied to try and provide for me. And it's like now I'm being forced to stay alive just to endure it. Like, I haven't paid for my sins, you know, of my youth. I haven't already paid for them. You see, Christ's blood didn't buy me no remission of sins. I paid for them with a hard life, with you know, karmic debt, you see. Because, well, even though I did the things I did, with the mind of a child, not knowing any better, I still couldn't get forgiven. I couldn't get forgiven by humans or by God, obviously. Hey, look at that chipmunk. You see that little baby chipmunk scurrying across there? He's peeking out from around the tree down there. Damn, I wish I could have got him for you. Maybe he's in the frame. Maybe you saw him scurrying across the logs. Yeah. It's like God cares about his animals more than he lets on, and more than the entities who proclaim to be his let on. And you know, it's so sad that more entities couldn't be encouraged to care about the animals, you know, the voiceless. And it's like the only way to make them understand how foul they were is for them to get time looped to some animals that they wouldn't help. Because in every region, there's people who could have helped the animals. They're in the shelters right now, animals that are out on the street. And, you know, the people doing that shouldn't be shaming the Christians so bad, you know. Tattooed women who are on dope and drink a lot of alcohol. They're out feeding homeless animals in cities and, you know, finding animals that are neglected in people's backyards, put on chains and not being fed or watered, you know, they're helping them. And you don't see any Christians doing any of that. These are people who are worldly people. And they have more godliness than the godly. Here's Dyke Chino. Anyway, there's people coming up, so I suppose I'll cut this short here in a second. Let's see if they got. I don't see a dog, so we're good. So his name's Aslan. After the Chronics of Narnia or something. Some little kids named him because he looks like a lion.
Got a great spot there.
Yeah, I come here all the time.
That's good. We're neighbors right down the road.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I live over on Erie and Lake Street.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We just bought the place, so we're happy to be here.
Yeah, it's a good little town. And I imagine for them it will be. Yeah, it won't be for me. It was a nice older couple. I've seen them walking through here before. And when I seen them, I went running with the dog because I didn't know if they had a bigger dog. You know, if he was running around without a leash or not. Because, well, when I take Aslan out, I notice that if I'm not paying attention, if I'm posting something with my little phone or something, I'm not looking around. Some people bring their big dogs up to him and try and force interaction on him, and he doesn't like that. He does not like to be approached by big dogs. If he approaches a big dog, it's different. You know, he's got a double standard like that. But he doesn't want anybody's big dog running up on him, you know? Sorry, y'all. He's been being a good boy, sitting here patient. He drank his whole little bowl of water I gave him. I didn't want to give him too much at one time. I give him a little more in a little while. When I stop again, I might stop again. So, well, I got nothing else to do with today. It's not like somebody's going to miraculously pop up with a ride and with med money, you know? It's like, who would have thought at 55 years old you could be caught where, you know, you can't even raise 15 bucks. You know what I'm saying? Imagine being me. Imagine the coldness of this existence, how cold it is, you know? I'm like a homeless animal for all the regard I get. And, you know, there's not a whole lot of entities that are going to care that I'm too distraught to eat or function. There's not a lot of people going to care. You know, I couldn't answer my phone earlier. I don't know who called me. My texts, I didn't look at them. I don't care. You know, what have I got to offer? It's just more ability to gloat. Hey, your life is better than mine. You had good family. You had good friends. You had people that a church couldn't steal away from you. You had real love. You had real heritage. All of mine was fake. I come from a family of greedy, parasitic, redneck inbreds. You know, it's like my grandfather was horrified at what his grandchildren were. He just looked at us with horror. He had horror on his face that he couldn't hide. And now I understand it because, well, we were a horrible bunch of nasty little white devils. And most of us didn't grow out of it, you know? Look at how we treat each other. There's no way if I had half the blessings that, like, you know, some of my siblings got, I would let my brother go through this. I would be over here. I would be taking him to the med store. I would be seeing to it that he's got his little necessities and stuff, you know, that he gets to get out, you know, at least on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? It's been months since I've been out on the weekend, been able to go for a ride. I haven't been up no trails or nothing, you know. I haven't done anything like that. I need to find a girlfriend with a Jeep if I want to go back to that lifestyle because, you know, it's all gone now. Everything's gone. And it's like, you know, it almost seems fake to stay in denial about it. Waiting, you know, lying to myself and to the collective consciousness, you know, to the universe. Oh, yes, God supplies for all of my needs according to his riches and glory. Well, there was a time he did that. Even if it was only little bits here and there, he would put them through, even if somebody had to drop it out of their pocket for me to find later when I walked up the same trail. Not anymore, man. I walk up these trails and there's nothing. Of course, I don't get up on no trails where I have to drive to. This one I can walk to because the house is only a few blocks away. And there's nothing here. God knows this is what I'm trapped to. There's no provision. There's no coin in the mouth of a fish. There's nothing. There's no loaves or fishes. None of that shit. And I imagine that those who judge me as not being worthy of not writhing in pain because they were, you know, they were brainwashed, you know, about marijuana. I imagine they're going to get time looped as me when they die. And they get the rude awakening that their charlatan pastors lied to them and didn't even know God, didn't know the first thing about him. Couldn't teach them anything except for how to be religionists, you know. And y'all know that religionists are what God hates the most. They're the ones he regards as the hypocrites and the stench in his nose. But hey, right about now I'd hang out with a religionist. Let them think they're right, just to have a ride somewhere, you know? Just to be mobile again. So I learned not to teach people who have been taught something other, and they're solidly in the ditch with the whore. They're not coming out of that ditch. I already did y'all the song about that too. So it's like, yeah. Somebody else is collecting the money for that song if it's getting played. It's okay, man. It's all going to get evened out, and they're going to get undone. And they're going to get time looped to slaves to repay my pennies, so that's fine. Steal my life, steal my shit. I was going to build me a new life with them pennies, yo. That's what's so sad about it, is I needed those pennies, man. Because if you don't got money, you don't got anything. Nobody loves you if you're broke. Nobody cares if you're poverty-stricken. They just regard you as a loser and, you know, stay the fuck away from me and out of my life. Okay, I'll holler some more later. This is the loop. There's a tree a beaver took down. This is the loop. We used to drive Lisa's Jeep up in here and park and walk the dogs back here sometimes if we didn't want to go too far, didn't have a lot of gas money or something. No, as he doesn't walk like a Pomeranian, like a pedigree dog. He walks like a mutt. He's got to sniff everything, pee on everything. He doesn't stay on one side anymore. I had him where, like, he hugged the left side, so I'd always know where he's at. Now I never know where he's at. He's behind me, he's on the right, he's over there, over here. It's like, you know, damn, man. Totally forgot how to walk. What's that over there? I remember when this thing used to work good. Yeah, let's see what I'm looking at. Aslan, quit pulling on the leash, man. I'm standing in one spot. Come here. Okay. It'll be right through there. It's on the other side of the river. There it is. What the hell is that? I imagine I'll be able to see it on widescreen later. Looks like a garbage can on a trail or something. Oh, it's a stump probably. Stumps look weird from a distance. Have y'all noticed? This trail goes up around probably to the neighborhood that that couple came from. There's a lot of bleachers there, like, you see them bleachers? I just could never figure out why they got bleachers. Maybe there used to be a pavilion stage here or something. I don't know. I had to try and find a place to pee. A nice shadowy place where I won't get seen. Alright. The staff parking lot's pretty full, the front one. There's a whole another one back there that's empty though. The building here behind the hospital, some kind of utility building, water, something. Couldn't get back here because of the piles of snow, but now we can. Look at that, there's been people down here. You see how they were walking out to the river. Keep going, boy. You're okay. I'm behind you. I'm right behind you. Can't guarantee I'll make it back up them. We'll come down here. Look at this spot. Look at this spot, buddy. This peaceful little spot on the El Salvo River. Let's sit down here for a minute, huh? Just for a quick minute. Grass is wet, so my butt's gonna get wet. It's okay. Oh, he's tickled about that. There's some little kids over there. Maybe they're gonna go over there to that spot, so they won't end up down here. Yeah, 'cause there's a spot over there at the end of the staff parking lot, the back staff parking lot. Just beyond that, there's like a way to get down to here too. And he's so cute. I'm gonna have to post this spot, so I'll post him sitting here in the sun for those who want to see it. Well, that's where I was sitting. You can see it. I was sitting in a puddle. All this is soft and wet still. So my pants are soaked, both pairs of my pants and my underwear. Got a wet butt. I did a hike along it yesterday. Look at that little trail. If I had more energy, we'd go walking up it. He's not in a hurry to climb these stairs. There's all kinds of interesting stuff down here. Climbing these stairs. Wait for me, buddy. Now wait there for me. Whew. I probably shouldn't have did that. Oh, there's a bunch of kids over there with someone with a stroller. Yeah, they looked like they were headed into the park. Maybe they changed their mind. See, brought them up right to those gates. Aslan, you're gonna get all tangled up in the trees, man. Doing it. Keep tangling yourself up. I'm not doing it. This is something, if God had a woman for me on this planet, or a significant other, I don't put genders on shit anymore, or race. But it's like, this is something that entity could be doing with me today, you know, enjoying the nice day, taking ass for a walk, get out on some tree tracks. I missed that. I imagine there might be a cigarette butt up here. Since I look for cigarettes, I've been picking them up and smoking them. Yeah. Like this one here. Well, but I meant to might get a hit or two off of it. It's not too wet.